Okay, it's 2:00. We'll call the Plant and Equipment Committee meeting to order. Is there any public comments?
I have a comment. I'm not public, but I had neglected to put on the update for well 33 on the agenda. It is on the board agenda, but I can just tell you that we did pull well 33 last week, and Best is working now on making some changes to adapt to the old well 34 pump that we're going to be putting in there. So they actually picked that up this morning to make those adapters for it.
Good, thank you. Any other? Okay, move to item 3, Inyo Turn Road Transmission Pipeline Repair.
I guess that probably is going to be deferred to me. Probably 15, 20 minutes ago, we did receive a response to our application for the Defense Community Infrastructure Pilot Program funding for the replacement of that northwest transmission line. And we were informed that our application, I think the use of term hasn't been accepted, which means rejected. It cited the fact that the ranking was not sufficient compared to other projects, and also referred to availability of funding. So disappointing. I mean, I don't think we were completely expecting that it would go through, but I think we were cautiously optimistic. So having received that news, I did reach out to Dave Janis with the China Lake Alliance, because I had heard that there may be an alternative source of funding through the earthquake recovery money that was allocated to the base, close to $4 billion. In my discussion with Dave, he mentioned that, of course, that money has been appropriated for repairs on the base, but the fact that this line does serve as an emergency interconnection with the base very likely was caused by the damage was caused by the seismic activity in 2019, and the fact that the project had very strong support from Captain Vaughn as well as Speaker McCarthy, that there may be a chance that it's at least worth asking. So I have sent an email to Captain Vaughn. I copied in Dave Janis, Scott O'Neill, and John Kersey, and just making an inquiry whether or not we could leverage some of those funds toward the pipeline replacement project. Again, all this in the last 15 minutes or so. So obviously I haven't got a response, but figure it's worth a try to ask. All they can tell us is no, and then we'll look at something else. But like I said, I think I had hope, based on the strong support, local support from Captain Vaughn, as well as that letter from Speaker McCarthy, that we stood a fairly good chance of getting the funding. But again, it was a pretty large ask at close to $17 million. That's where we're at.
All right, thank you for that, and hopefully maybe we'll get some answers before the board meeting. It is disappointing. I was very, very hopeful that with the support, as Don mentioned, that we would get that funding. So thank you for your report, as gloom as it was. Okay, any other comments?
No, like I said, it's disappointing, and but what can you do? We just got to push forward and follow up the leads we have, like Don was saying, and see where they go, and maybe we'll have some additional information next Monday.
All right, thank you. Okay, we'll move to item 4, Booster Station and Tanks Project.
All right, the booster station. We are still expecting delivery of the motor control center this month. Meanwhile, the pumps and the motors have been installed, and they're working on electrical right now. For the college tank, the last tank to be built, it is online and being used, and the old tank has been taken out of service and drained, and they're working on the pipe modifications of the old tank at this time. And tomorrow there's going to be a site walk for punch list items with the project manager from Krieger and Stewart.
Okay.
And that's it.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, Item 5, arsenic treatment facility update.
Staff is still working on the media sifting, if that's what you want to call it. And it's proving to be unfortunately slower than originally anticipated. The bags have suffered some degradation, so they are ripping as they pick them up. So it's a lot more labor intensive, but they're still working on it.
Okay.
But we do have it estimated that we have enough media on hand to fill the 2 vessels. Just it's going to take some more time.
Okay, thank you. Any comments?
I'm assuming that the news we just heard regarding the DCIP puts more pressure on our need for the arsenic plants to be up functioning at 100%. So, I mean, what's the prognosis with regard to, even though there may be some delays and issues that we hadn't necessarily thought we would encounter, the overall project, I'm hoping, is still.
Yeah, it's still a go, and they're still working on it. We'll be able to get 2 vessels up. It just won't be as quickly as we had hoped, but I think fortunately we have made it through the worst part of the summer, so we'll make it this season, and then we can address where we're at with both plants and what we need to do to make sure that all 4 of those wells can run in the future.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Move to item 6, solar production.
As you see on the first page, our generation for the phase 1 is coming in higher than the previous July, about 30,000 more kWh. We are no longer receiving estimated cost savings as our 5-year contract on that has expired. Yeah, but for the phase 2, which is well 35, we are still receiving that information. Will be for a couple more years. We had production savings of $2,396 versus the guarantee of $2,054. So overproducing the guarantee currently.
Any questions on that, solar?
I'm curious, I'm going to make this question to the board also. I think we've been bringing these to you every month. We would really like to do this maybe once a year or once a quarter or something. We no longer have the guarantee for phase 1. And we do get this every month and we do look at it, but I'm wondering if the board or the committee is still interested in looking at this every month.
I would like to see it, and just to know that we're not going the wrong direction is I guess is what I would like to say. So it doesn't have to be as in depth, but if you could just give us a quick report on it, I would like that. I don't know what Stan's thought is. But.
Yeah, I think a synopsis, overview, summary, as opposed to all the details and all the figures.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need this,
No.
but just maybe
Yeah, even if it's, I mean, even
summary
in
numbers.
the finance, I mean, it's gonna show that we generated this much and this is what our solar was, and it's, as long as it's there, so.
You want to see
I
like
don't have an issue with that.
year-to-year comparison for production?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can
okay.
do that.
Okay, any future agenda items?
Yes, I would like to, even though this is probably not a good time to be talking about this, I would like to see the Springer pipeline added to our agenda so that we know, it may well get delayed, but it'd be nice for everybody to know what the schedule is, where the funding is coming from, and what's the prognosis. I'm still hopeful we can find money for the other pipeline, and I think this is something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and I'd like to see it get some visibility and actually get started. May I ask, is this a shovel-ready project at this point?
No.
No, okay. So we still have some work to be done.
We put it on hold because we didn't have the funds to continue at this time. So we were in the midst of starting design, and we put it on hold.
Okay, well, I guess it'd be nice to have a plan as to when we resurrect it, when we will have a shovel-ready project, and what are our options for funding.
We have a preliminary design, and we need to go out and verify other utilities, and then they can do a final design on that, but it all depends on finances at the moment.
Right, so, yeah, I think it will depend on the first critical project, and knowing where that fund's gonna come from first, and then we can move forward with it, so. I understand what you're saying, but.
It's certainly
money
not
is-
dropped off our radar, that's for
It's
sure.
very important,
Yeah.
so, thank you for that.
But I'll put it on there.
Okay, any other items? Okay, we will adjourn at 2:00.